Get in touch, email fred@bbc.co.uk, text 80295.
I want to ride my bicycle, I want to ride my bike, I want to ride my bicycle, I want to ride it where I like.
We're spinning into the world of cycling now with a couple of different stories from the freewheeling community. In a few minutes, going to find out why old is new again for the latest cycling must-have. First, though, one man, one bicycle helmet with a camera and a whole lot of fury as the result. Good morning, David Brennan.
Good morning, Fred.
How was your journey in today?
Fine. I came in by taxi today.
We wanted you in a good mood. Didn't want MD annoying you.
I didn't want to smell too sweaty. Or...
see, when you were in the taxi, did you have your camera with you?
I actually have it in my bag, but I didn't have it on at the time. No.
Well, you should have done, because you could have got a nice film of these cyclists weaving in and out of lanes, going through red lights, jumping up on the pavement.
Funnily enough, I had an interesting conversation with a taxi driver who wanted to tell me a bit about road safety. So.
Is that right? It is two very distinct sides to this argument, isn't it, David?
There certainly is, yes.
But you've got video evidence of some bad lads at work.
I do, yes. I tend to video all my commutes to and from work, which is kind of 5 miles there, 5 miles back.
Right, where's home and where's work?
Home is in Anniesland and work is at the Southern General. So it's not too far, but it's amazing what happens on the way there.
For example?
Well, I mean, the first thing I'd always like to say is that the vast majority of my commutes are actually really good fun. I thoroughly enjoy commuting all the time, and the vast majority of the experiences I have with drivers are actually really good. But sometimes, you can have situations where drivers, just don't give you the space that you require, or maybe just don't understand why sometimes it's you need to be in the middle of the road just to be seen, and so sometimes you can get a lot of.
That's what you call the primary position, isn't it? When you're in the middle of the lane, quite rightly, as a cyclist.
That's absolutely right. I mean, there's a couple of positions that are recommended, and one is secondary, which is closer to the edge. But there are some occasions where it's quite valuable to be in the centre of the lane just to be seen and to avoid anyone kind of squeezing you out when they try to overtake.
Do you wear a yellow fluorescent jacket?
I do, yes.
Yeah. And got all the lights and all the rest of it.
I certainly do, yeah.
Have you ever, David, and I mean this is more serious than we normally are, but have you ever seen drivers actually doing something deliberate to cause you harm?
Me personally, no, I don't think I have.
Good.
No, I think quite often you don't, as a cyclist, and I'm a driver as well, but as a cyclist you don't want to come out as if you're lecturing another road user group how they should be driving, for instance. But I mean, what you want to say to people is, when you're driving around a cyclist, all we're looking for is just a little bit of patience around us and a little bit of room, and nothing more really. Because in fact, generally we don't tend to hold folk up, only for a few seconds. Once you're past us,
it's like, I mean, you've got the videos on YouTube, and they're really quite interesting. And the amount of times that you just catch up with people at lights and say, "Hi there, this is a camera. You're on film. What were you doing?" And this is the point: is they've not gotten that much further just by being, not considering your position.
Is that not dangerous to engage them at times, David?
It probably is. I mean, there's one of my videos where it annoyed me so much that I kind of signed to the guy to pull over, and he did, and we chatted, and there was no anger there. It was just I just wanted to find out why. I certainly wouldn't recommend it, and I mean I'm trying to.
What had he done?
It was this was coming off a roundabout. He'd basically took the wrong lane for a roundabout, a right turn. I was coming off, going straight on. He'd squeezed me just as he came past and hit his horn as he came past, kind of, as what you're doing in the middle of the road. So basically, sometimes it kind of winds you up. But generally what I actually find is that having the camera tends to keep me calm, because I know I've caught it on camera, and I don't have to get angry about it at the time. I can look back at it later on and possibly post it.
How much memory have you got on the camera?
It's a little kind of hard disk recorder, and it's got about 30 gigabytes, so it can record a couple of weeks worth.
Right.
Could you not? You could extend this. You could start filming people on their mobile phones while they're driving and post that up.
I might well have done that already.
Got there before you.
I've got there already. Yeah.
Where's this all going to lead, David? Where's this all going to lead? I mean, are you attaching it to a campaign for better and safer driving?
Yeah, well, as I say, what I'm trying to do is it's not just better and safer driving; it's better and safer cycling as well. I mean, I think, but you know, there are, as I say to everybody, there are bad apples in all groups. There are bad cyclists, that's for sure. There are bad drivers as well. I mean, the vast majority of both groups are pretty good. But what I've done is previously in the past I had a campaign with First Bus. They had helped me run a campaign to give cyclists room campaign. And I'd like to try and extend that a little bit, but not as focusing necessarily on just giving cyclists room. I think more on the kind of mutual respect aspect. Everybody maybe even just holding back, being more relaxed and not being so aggressive.
Stick with us, David, because we're now joined by Andy Dodds from Alpine Cycles in Glasgow. He's here to tell us why the big news in the cycling world is that we wanted to investigate this morning is why gears are no longer cool. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks very much for coming in. Did you cycle in this morning?
No, I was at a wedding last night.
I don't believe these guys are cyclists at all.
At a wedding last night, so
yes.
Did you not feel safe to cycle?
It's kind of hard to ride in a kilt, so...
Oh, right.
You didn't get married, did you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Wasn't that good a night?
Not bad a night, depending how you look.
Is there a Mrs. Dodds?
No, there's a young Miss Robertson who's my long-time girlfriend.
Oh, right, okay. Well, for the time being,
For the
unless she's
time
listening.
being, yes.
Andy, I have been on a fixed-wheel bike.
Yes.
But I wouldn't have thought it was ideal for tooting about the streets of Glasgow and other cities.
It's a bit better. I mean, if you're doing like an everyday commute, especially through the wonderful Scottish winters, there's less to go wrong on a fixed wheel bike, so there's less to fix. Myself, because my commute's so much longer, I've got a geared bike, and you just chew up gears day after day after day. Whereas folk who live in the cities just use the single speed, so they just literally get on, turn the legs, get off. That's how it work.
Are they not? I mean, predominantly, I would imagine they're used for racing.
The single speed bikes?
Aye.
No.
No?
There's a serious amount of commuters. Pretty much everyone that works in the shop use single speed bikes.
What do you use, David?
I've got a gear bike, but I mean, I go through the Clyde Tunnel, not the road part. There's a cycle lane as well, but it's quite a steep hill at the far end of that. So I mean, I think because of that, it would be pretty difficult.
But the single speed, you need to stand up and push as hard as you possibly can for some of the hills, and unless you're pretty fit or crazy, it can hurt quite a bit.
You're going to have to detour. You ever thought about cycling on a single gear bike or a fixed wheel bike up Castle Milk?
I used to ride a single speed mountain bike, so you're riding
Good grief.
off road with one gear.
How fit are you?
I could be fitter, put it that way.
Yeah.
But
It could be fitter.
Unfortunately, I'm blessed with a bad back, so single speeding's not the way to go.
Right. It is for some, though. It's increasing.
Yeah, like I said, for commuting couriers, that you've probably seen the Glasgow couriers flying about, single speed's perfect for them because they need to have a bike that works every single time. So single speed makes much more sense for those guys.
Right, well, you certainly build up the leg muscles. And of course, the cycling championships, world championships are on TV from Manchester just now, heard on the radio.
The track champs, yes.
Chris Hoy has progressed through his quarter-final. I saw a bit of that last night, and there was a young English girl who won her, I think, the 3-kilometre pursuit. Tremendous.
The Brits are doing really well. They've got a few golds and a couple of silvers already, so can't complain.
Well, cycling's on the increase, fellas, but I think I'd need to work my legs a wee bit before I got onto a single-speed bike. Andy, David, many thanks for coming in this morning.
No problem at all.
Andy from Alpine Cycles, and Dr. David Brennan is a member of the Strathclyde cycling group Go Bike. You're listening to MacAulay & Co. It's 12 minutes to 11, and at midday we've got Scotland Live. Bill Whiteford is at the helm.